True stories of people and places, priceless treasures or humble keepsakes. Each with a beginning, none with an ending. The reason? They vanished without trace. The fifth largest country in the world, comprising 1/15 of the terrestrial surface of the globe. An area of 3,275,500 square miles. 3.25 million square miles of mystery. But in one of those square miles lies the answer to this story. Where is this unknown square mile to be found? In Brazil, South America. In that unknown square mile of Brazilian jungle lies the answer to a question, to a story that began in the study of Colonel P.H. Fawcett, noted British explorer.
So there you are, you see. Now, where are the lost mines of Murireca? Right here, my boys. Right here on this square of crackled parchment.
But, well, do you really think it's the genuine thing, Father? I mean, not a forgery.
Now, Jack, you doubt my judgment? After all the years I've spent wandering about the globe?
Jack could be right, Father. After all, well, I mean to say, a document sharing the trail Francisco Raposo took when he found the fabulous Murireca mines, well, it could be a fake.
It'll take more than words to change my mind this time, my boy. This is not just an adventure. It's like suddenly finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
The lost treasures of a complete civilization. And all we have to do is to go and collect it.
That's right, Jack. And all due to the man who drew this map almost 2 centuries ago. The Portuguese explorer, Francisco Raposo.
That is how the Colonel Fawcett mystery began. In the study of his home in England in the year 1925. But what of the answer to the mystery? Did the Portuguese explorer find the answer 200 years ago?
I tell you, Raposo, if we try the hand of fate one more week, the fingers of destiny will squeeze the very blood from our hearts.
So we had one more week to attend your search. It might be the difference between finding this lost city that has become the legend of the natives of Carabaya.
You hear? It is a sound again.
It comes and it goes. And we see nothing, feel nothing. Just this rumble.
And if you had doubts about our men before, then regard their faces this very minute. Look at him back there.
All right, Pablo. Tell the men we camp here tonight. We can't go any further forward till we find a way around this huge mountain of rock.
The men of Portugal, the native bearers of Brazil. Both groups begin making camp with relief. Each man smiling now at his neighbor. The reason for the smiles taking the place of fear? The statement made by Francisco Raposo, their leader.
Yes, Pablo. We will turn back tomorrow. After today, we shall start putting our adventures behind us.
And this unscalable wall of mountain rock, we put that behind us too.
Yes, you are right, Pablo. We probably couldn't have found a way around it, and certainly never climbed over the top. Yet, the native legends definitely center the lost civilization to be in this district. You know, what is to be will be.
You need the rest as much as do the men.
Perhaps. Now help me erect my tent, will you? You take the main pole. Now, listen.
That sound coming again.
This time it seems closer. Or louder.
Francisco, look. Look at the trees and the mountains.
Shaking as though by the fingers of a giant wind.
But there is no wind.
Pablo, look out!
The mountain! The mountain is bursting with thunder!
An earthquake! It's so close! Everybody! Come on, all of you! Lie down! Keep as low to the ground as you can! Protect your heads with your hands! Come on, all of you! If you value your lives, get down!
Before the eyes of the startled men, the entire wall of rock began shaking, at first in quick shivers of terrestrial convulsions. Then suddenly the ground beneath them began to vibrate. The shocks increased in tempo, violence, and sound. And then, with a nerve-shattering roar, a great black line began to cleave the wall of rock. A black line that grew wider as the granite-hard stone wall snapped slowly into a narrow ravine. And with this dramatic performance of nature, the movement ceased, and slowly the sounds of the earthquake faded into the lost echoes of the jungle around them.
You talk of leaving, Pablo, leaving one of the greatest adventures we could possibly attempt.
You're going to walk into that canyon? You're going there now?
From beginning to end. It's a chance in a lifetime. Don't you see, Pablo?
I can only see the writing on the wall. On that wall of rock, when the mountainside closes the gap with our feeble bodies inside it, to be crushed like so many eggshells.
Oh, but that is the talk of a Portuguese washerwoman, Pablo. One thing I must do before I go. Draw a map to show where we are, and to mark the location well. There. Hand me that parchment from the sack over there.
You know the location?
Almost 2 miles. Remember, the Rio das Mortes flows less than 2 miles from here. So, George, like so.
Yes, I know, Francisco. And I know also what the name of the river means. River of Death.
Step by step, the two men feel their way through the twilight shadows of the narrow ravine. A gigantic crack in the side of the mountain. A 2,000-foot slit that could close up as suddenly as it had opened.
Pablo! Pablo, you feel the rock face here. See how warm it is. So hot to the touch.
Keep walking, Raposo. I will feel happier when we are out in the open again.
Yeah, it is almost suffocating in here, isn't it? The air is so hot, just so thick. Pablo, did you feel that?
You mean the cool breeze?
Come, Pablo. The canyon bends a little up here. No. It can't be. Can't be.
Look! On the other side of the mountain, a big, wide valley. So beautiful, so green.
Yes, Pablo. So you see it also. A ruined city, broken by the giant hand of an earthquake. But not by the earthquake of today. One perhaps thousands and thousands of years ago.
It is the lost city of Muribeca.
Raposo wrote of the strange discoveries, of his feet treading the ancient streets of black cobblestones, of the huge buildings constructed from tremendous blocks of mortarless rock, of the elaborate carved porticos, the strange-shaped obelisks of black stone, and of the temple and palace, a massive structure to an unknown god, a personage the people had worshipped and paid their tributes in silver and gold. Francisco Raposo had in his hands the entire fortunes of a lost people, a fortune he couldn't possibly entirely carry away. And 200 years after Raposo's discovery, another man is making the final plans to find the same square mile lost in the Brazilian jungle.
Well, now that we're here, what do you think of it, my boy?
Oh, Rio de Janeiro. It's beautiful, Father. Like a page from a travel book.
Yes. Well, you take your fill of the Rio tonight from the hotel window, because it's the last you'll be seeing of it for a long time. Who knows how long?
You mean everything's set for the expedition?
Yes, my boy. We move out tomorrow.
And so in the year 1925, just 182 years after Raposo's discovery, Colonel Fawcett leads his party into the green darkness of the Brazilian jungle. Days stretch into months, but still the narrow cleft of rock eludes them. And then, on the 29th of May, while his father is writing a letter home, Jack Fawcett enters the lean-to tent.
Oh, hello, my boy. Anything you want me to mention in my letter home?
No, I'll write later this week.
Something on your mind, Jack?
Just, well, I don't know, perhaps you'd call it a premonition.
Premonition, eh? Oh, of what?
Well, I don't know, really, just oh, that's silly, I suppose.
No, not at all. I've seen some very strange predictions amongst my adventurers.
Well, it's just that I think the canyon we're looking for is definitely within walking distance of this camp.
What's the date today?
May the 29th. Why?
I just wanted to date this letter for home, that's all. Well, now, that's my duty done. I'll give it to the native bearer leaving for Sao Paulo. Then you can post it to England. You can take a walk before supper. Think so? Which way would you like to go first?
Well, just before we stopped this afternoon, I thought I saw a dark shadow on one part of the cliff road.
A shadow, eh? Yeah, well, that could possibly be the entrance to a narrow ravine. All right, Jack. This time you lead the way.
I'll just get my helmet.
What happened on that quiet twilight walk can never be answered. For the letter he wrote was the last word ever received from Colonel Fawcett and his expedition. He and his son had walked into the green shadows of the jungle and simply vanished without trace. No effort was spared to discover the whereabouts of the missing English expedition. Varied and sometimes distorted information only added to the mystery. All further attempts to find the narrow canyon into the lost city of Murivaca have failed. Some reports indicate Colonel Fawcett may have actually found and entered the canyon, only to have nature twist the face of the mountain into another earthquake, closing his only exit. Perhaps Colonel Fawcett did find his lost civilization. Perhaps he discovered his dream too late. Only the Brazilian jungle knows the answer. For to the rest of the world, Colonel Fawcett's expedition had simply vanished without trace. Listen again to another fascinating adventure in this series, Vanished Without Trace. This is an Artranza program written by John Warwick and produced by Jim Bradley.